Hello and welcome. This is Bryce Brown. My edX is Bryce, BRYCE underscore Brown, BROWN 13. My GitHub, BB030. October 19th, 2024, and I am from Union City, Georgia. I will be covering MOVEit IT, a Progress product. Based in Massachusetts, Progress Software serves 100,000 clients across over 175 countries. The clientele can be found in industries like finance, government, and healthcare. Progress offers enterprise solutions for application development and secure data transfer. To focus again, this video is about their flagship product, MOVEit IT, which facilitates secure file exchanges across finance and healthcare. Regulations like HIPAA, the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, require security and integrity in healthcare to protect the privacy of patient health information. What's important about all of this? The MOVEit IT breach impacted over 600 organizations globally, more than 40 million individuals across sectors such as healthcare, finance, and more. Consequently, highly sensitive personal data like Social Security numbers, HIPAA violations in medical records, and financial information were stolen or committed. Further, identity theft, financial fraud, and phishing attempts became future threats for clients and patients. So what happened? There were vulnerabilities in MOVEit IT's transfer database. This addresses the unsanitized inputs allowed from the user. A web shell was planted named lemurroot. It granted persistent permissions to affected servers. The attackers were able to extract data and demanded a ransom from the affected organizations. We call this ransomware. The affected healthcare sector. Sensitive patient data exposed. The breach impacted hospitals, clinics, and healthcare providers that rely on MOVEit IT's transfer for secure file sharing of patient records. Exposed data includes medical records, treatment histories, and insurance information. HIPAA violations. Healthcare organizations are bound by regulations like the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, which requires strict control over patient data. The breach may lead to significant legal and financial penalties for healthcare providers due to HIPAA violations. Medical identity theft. Patients could be at risk of medical identity theft where stolen records are used for false claims, obtaining prescriptions, or fraudulent medical treatments. This is particularly damaging as rectifying medical identity theft is more difficult than financial fraud. The affected finance sector. Financial institutions, including banks and insurance companies, had sensitive client data exposed, such as banking details, transaction records, and loan information. This information could be exploited for unauthorized financial activities or phishing schemes. Financial institutions are subject to stringent regulatory standards like the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act and the Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard. The breach exposes these organizations to fines, audits, and reputational damage if found non-compliance with these standards. Institutions rely on trust to maintain client relationships. The breach's exposure of highly sensitive financial information could lead to a loss of confidence among clients, impacting long-term business and client retention. The affected government. Credential information compromised. Government agencies and contractors using MOVEit IT's transfer for secure document exchange saw sensitive files compromised. This included classified documents, internal communications, and personal information of government employees as citizens. National security concerns. The breach could have significant implications for national security, especially if classified or sensitive documents related to government operations were exposed. Attackers gaining access to this data can potentially use it for espionage or intelligence purposes. Public sector response. Government bodies are often held to strict public accountability and cybersecurity standards, such as FISMA, Federal Information Security Management Act. Failure to secure data could lead to greater scrutiny, budget reallocations, and long-term damage to public trust in government cybersecurity capabilities. So what about the response and mitigation? Progress issued immediate guidance to its customers, recommending the shutdown of HTTP and HTTPS traffic to MOVEit IT transfer servers. Progress released patches for the identified CVEs addressing the SQL injection flaw and closing the vulnerability exploited by attackers. Companies affected were urged to monitor their own network logs for indicators of compromised IOCs, such as unusual file creation or process activity. In some cases, forensic analysts of compromised systems were advised to detect hidden malware or persistent web shells. Security experts recommended resetting account credentials and reviewing permissions to ensure that no backdoors or malicious access persisted post-breach. Some companies even resorted to offline backups for data recovery as a precautionary measure. So let's clarify. Process's MOVEit IT was a large-scale file exchange system reaching across multiple industries with particularly sensitive client data. After leaving ports open to the public, attackers named CL0P used a SQL injection to implement web shells called lemmaroot. This granted them persistent access to open servers. Attackers used the breach as a way to plant malware and exacerbate the issue. This created potential threats like further malware and phishing attacks for the company's clients and patients down the road. Finally, for my future recommendations. Limit internet access. MOVEit IT allowed internet ports to remain open. This allowed devices outside of their own network to access systems. This should be protected with a user-based access control, something like a VPN. Implement or improve the WAF, or Web Application Firewall. This can block anomalous and suspicious requests and potentially block exploitation of previously known unknown zero-day vulnerabilities. Finally, prepared statements. They are specifically good at preventing vulnerabilities like SQL injections.